Hey everybody, welcome to the channel. Glad to have you here. Today we're going to take a look at our large army battle versus Hobotango. You can see the mass amount of troops we brought. Very scary to micro this much. There's a lot you miss, there's a lot you mess up just because you can't keep your eye on everything across the whole battlefield. You can see we brought very different armies considering we were essentially the same faction. He brought a very black orc heavy army with Night Goblin support. So he's going to have a front line here of these Night Goblins. All stretching all the way down the line. He's going to have 4 of these Doom Divers supported by Skarsnik here with his pet Gobla. And then he's going to have a huge line of Black Orcs, supported by one of which is the infamous Crimson Killers. Here we have an Orc Shaman on a Warboar. Good choice, good choice. He's got a left flank of Orc Boar Boy Biggins, and a right flank of Squigs, supported by some sneaky, nasty skulkers that I can't see on the far side of the map here. I have a main line of Savage Orcs with Biggins in every 2 Savage Orcs, just to help kind of stabilize the main line a little bit. On each flank, I have 2 Orc Boy Biggins with 2 Squigs to stop them from just relentlessly charging in and leaving and charging in, because I wouldn't have anything to hold down my flank without those. I have 2 Goblin Big Bosses. I've got a Night Goblin Shaman with just Itchy Nuisance and Sneaky Stabbing. I've got 4 Night Goblin Archers, one of which is the Rusty Airs, to shoot any large targets that he would have brought. And he actually didn't bring any, which was very surprising. I brought 4 spiders and 2 giants. But you're going to see he spent a lot of his money on his Black Orc main line, and I had a cheaper main line with big backup via the spiders and the giants. I do have 1 unit of Crimson Killers here. I also have 1 unit of the Warlord's Boys right there, and then I also have 1 unit of Nasty Skulkers. So, to just augment the armor-piercing damage that is my large troops, I have 3 armor-piercing troops here in the back that I thought I could assign to different places in the battlefield to try and even out some of the fights where he may have had armored troops and I would have had Orc Biggins or Savage Orcs. I have 2 Doomdiver Catapults, and I think that's it. I also have 1 Orc Biggin here in the back, just to, I like having a reserve unit. It's nice to have units in reserve to assign wherever you need them. And yeah, so I'm just going to start pushing up immediately. And I'm going to target here my Doom Divers on some of his Black Orc line. So I'm going to ignore the main line and just start moving up everything, even my artillery. I feel pretty confident here for the flanks, just because I have infantry versus his non-infantry here. And so if I can make him engage on my Squigs, I'm pretty confident my Orc Biggins will win. Even on this side with these Savage Orc Biggins, they're definitely anti-large, and all my large is in the center. So as long as I can keep his anti-large away and fighting my flanking force of these Biggins and these Squigs, then my center will be safe. You can see his good Doom Divers opening fire. And you can see all my fast moving units moving up too fast. And it's hard to maneuver this big of an army. This is just, the numbers here are crazy. I guess we could do an overview. Overview is too small. Can't see much on that one. And so I'm going to try and just be decisive, and I'm going to order charges on all these guys. You can see my Squigs up here. I moved them too far up too fast, and they're just going to get destroyed by Doom Divers. My Spider's not doing very well. Here you can see my Squigs get charged, and they're going to be supported by these Orc Boy Biggins. Yeah, this is kind of the best thing I can hope for, him blobbed up fighting my Orc Boy Biggins with large units like Squigs. I do not even see these guys yet. I really couldn't even see this main line, but you're going to see me slowly kind of order all my troops in and my Biggins, and you're going to see this line just melt under the weight of Savage Orcs and these Ragnarok Spiders. I even forget one, but you can see already breaking. This is just not going to be a fight they enjoy. The Savage Orcs are just do too much damage too quickly. You can see my Doom Divers firing in here. My main line melted through, and now we're just going to start engaging here. Oh, you can see this flank. He's just I spread out my line as far as humanly possible, and he's just going to engage. And there's too much to micro, so I'm sure he didn't have the time to micro around kind of this side to get rear charges or anything, just because there was so much going on in the center. You can see I finally noticed this huge mob here, and these Orc Boy Biggins are dead meat, and I acknowledge that. And so I've targeted my Doom Divers over here to punish him for blobbing up his troops like this. You can see here the main line is slowly crashing in. I think there's a protest going on outside. 1 second. And we're back. Yeah, so you can see kind of I engaged the main line here of Night Goblins. And I'm going to try and move my main line as effectively as I can, because there's so much going on, into his Black Orc line. Because the less charges he gets here with his Black Orcs, the better I am across the board. But you're going to see he's going to get a couple here into my poor Savage Orcs. You can see my Biggins over here starting to lose. And these Biggins here, foolishly chasing some Squigs because I'm not microing them correctly. I should micro them back soon. Over here on this flank, this is exactly the fight I want. If he's willing to give it to me, sure, let's do it. And that's inevitably going to go in my favor just because of the anti-large here of these guys. I'm going to move these nasty skulkers over here to these Night Goblins to try and deal with them. And I'm going to try and get as many of my big units in as possible. You're going to see this whole chunk here is going to go halfway across the map this way, chasing these poor Night Goblins. More poor commander who loses that much money in a fight like this. I'm having a hard time utilizing my ranged troops just because I was expecting large units. But you're going to see them kind of shooting in where they can. You can see my Night Goblin Shaman getting hammered by the Doom Divers, which was really confusing to me, but you're going to see me finally start using some buffs. My Crimson Killers still haven't been in. My Warlord's boys still aren't in. So I have a lot of armor piercing back here that still needs to be mobilized. You can see these guys finally broke through. My guys caught the Squigs, so maybe not as futile as I thought. This is still going on. My Spiders still wrecking my Giant, doing great work. Skarsnik does have bonus versus large, so this isn't the perfect fight for this Giant, but it's pretty good. He's doing work. He's doing armor-piercing damage. You can see this Black Orc almost dead. This Giant taking care of this one. And this Spider taking care of these. You notice that the troops I sent in with them are gone. They just they can't really stand up to Black Orcs in a straight-up fight. So you're going to see a lot of them rout off the field, leaving just kind of my larger units and my reserves to keep the fight going. My Doom Divers doing a really good job of kind of withering away the leadership of these nasty skulkers. And the Doom Divers are going to do great. Oh, God. Taking out a lot of his friends. You can see it just like melted his morale there. Again, the buff's going off. Bigfoot of Gork. That was him, I think. Definitely not the best target. The spider won't really care about a food cork. Maybe some savage orcs or some rusty airs, or maybe like, yeah, maybe these black orcs. All would have probably been better targets, but it's really chaotic, and so he's probably just trying to use his mana pool at all. It's hard to do. I'm going to try and get these biggins into the fight, but they're going to get still caught up. I'm not using those guys. It's great. You're going to see my arrows fire into these Crimson Killers. This is a decent use of them. And the poison is going to help my Savage Orcs actually survive. You're going to see my Goblins again firing into the flank of Black Orcs. That is where I want them. But they're soon going to get swarmed by nasty Skulkers that I was not prepared for. So I'm going to try and run them away. You can see Itchy Nuisance here dropping their attack. I'm going to send my Goblin Big Boss here after Skarsnik. It's a brave Goblin trying to usurp his spot as top Gob. And the poison and everything and the charge is going to be enough for him to scare him off. You can see his nasty Skulkers lining up, but it's just too little too late. Maybe if they had been closer. My poor Crimson Killers here trying their best, but they're going to get swarmed. And they're going to break. And they're going to break. Everybody's going to run from this fight, except the Giant. You can see I got, I forgot to go, I have a Grimgore. Figured he'd be a good bring for an all-orc army. Stomping some other fellow orcs. Definitely his type of engagement. So yeah, that's how that went. It was chaotic and a nightmare. Let's take a look. Savage Orcs did pretty good across the board, got decent kills. A couple of my biggins didn't really do anything, but most of them did stuff. These Crimson Killers did pretty good. Doom Divers, 130, 170, that's amazing. These large units all pulled their weight, and a lot of them weren't even close to dead. So they had a lot more killing potential in them. One of the squigs did well, but mostly they were just to make sure my biggins got a fight on the flanks. And they stand up a little bit better than Wolf Riders in combat. My archers not really helping, but they were brought more in case he brought giants or Ragnaroks. I'd have something to shoot them with. My nasty Skulkers doing pretty well, 72, 21 on these guys, 33 on Grimgore. Yeah, main body of my kills is here in this bottom row and here in the biggins and the Savage Orcs. Oh my god, Skarsnik, 0. Goblin Big Boss, 0. This Night Goblin line, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 Night Goblins got 76 kills. Night Goblins, I think they're just not worth the money. Their leadership breaks so fast. But you got good kills here on these nasty Skulkers. Horrible kills. I don't know what this Black Orc was fighting. But 56, 43, 91, 50, 34, 61, all respectable kills. These Savage Orc biggins, they were just put in the wrong fight. It was hard to micro something that big, especially when I was the one taking the initiative. It's definitely important in a battle like this to have a plan and to initiate it. You're not going to be able to react defensively across the board. It's just not going to work. And so you really want to just take the initiative and have a plan to do it, and you'll be much better off. It'll be much easier to micro. You might mess up here or there, but it's on the overall, essentially, you're going to be having more favorable engagements for your army. Not very good kills here on these Doom Divers. They were put in the middle of the army between the Black Orcs and the Night Goblins, and so that kind of stopped them from being useful past the initial skirmishes. But anyways, good game to Hobotango, and I hope to have more massive battles for you guys in the future. Anyways, that's that.